Hello everyone. In this video you will learn about limiting structure of the mandible. What is limiting structures? To limiting structure, they limit the extension of the denture phalanges. Limiting structure of the mandible are the labial frenum, labial vestibule, buccal frenum, buccal vestibule, lingual frenum, alveolingual sulcus, rhizomalvoid curtain. Labial frenum. This labial frenum is a fibrous band which extends from the inner aspect of the lip and attached to the residua alveoli. Either it is attached near to the crest of the ridge or far away from the ridge, containing a band of the fibrous connective tissue that help in attachment of the orbicularis muscles and is quite sensitive. Hence, the denture should be appropriately notched and that should be wide and deep enough that uh, allow the labial frenum to pass into this notch. Labial vestibule which extends from the labial frenum to the buccal frenum on each side. Means the labial frenum is from the buccal frenum of one side to the buccal frenum of another side and is divided into the two by means of the labial frenum. And the muscles which is attached, which is quite active, is mantalis muscles. Buccal frenum and vestibule. This buccal frenum, which is an extension of again the buccal frenum of the maxillary arch, and the vestibule which is extend from the buccal frenum to the retromolar pad, and this is the widest part here in the mandibular arch, so impression should be wide in this particular region. Here the muscles which is maxillary muscles and the fiber of the maxillary muscles which is oriented in horizontal direction, denture should be properly extended up to the external oblique, and the buccal frenum may extend to the external oblique up onto it or even over it, depend upon the location of the mesobuccal fold. Masseter muscles influence area. So the fiber of the masseter muscles are a vertical orientation, so the distal buccal border must converge rapidly to avoid the action of the masseter, which is pushing inward the buccinator. The masseter muscles come in contact while when we ask the patient to close the mandible while we exert a pressure over the chin area. Distal extension of the mandibular denture, which is limited by posteriorly ramus is there and buccinator muscles, pterygomandibular raphe, superior muscles of the pharynx, sharpness of the boundaries of the retromolar fossa. The denture should extend slightly in the lingual into the pear-shaped retromolar pad. Poor extension cause the soreness and also limit the function of the buccinator muscles. The denture should extend up to the two-thirds of the retromolar pad, not behind it, that cover the full of the retromolar pad. So, if you extend the denture that cover the retromolar pad posteriorly, it may affect on all these muscles and the pterygomandibular raphe. These all are affected, patient complaining of the soreness. So, denture should only cover the half or two-thirds of the retromolar pad. Lingual frenum attached to the anteriorly, and so this is very much active and should be require relief and feel a more resistance. If you will not relieve in this particular area, there will be the dislodgement of the dentures. Mylohyoid muscles. This is the muscles of the floor of the mouth and is a thin sheet of the fiber in relaxed state will now resist the impression material and carrying the water under the mylohyoid cannot be tolerated. So the contraction of these muscles to displace the denture should not be. So this should be properly recorded by while performing the various steps movement while making the impressions. Alveolingual sulcus. The space between the ridge and the tongue extending from the lingual frenum to rhizomalvoid curtain. From this lingual frenum to the rhizomalvoid curtain between the ridge as well as the tongue. So this is divided into the three parts. Interior part, premalvoid region, a middle part, we call it the malvoid region. Posterior portion or posterior part are called the retromalvoid fossa region. So interior part is from the lingual frenum to premalvoid fossa. It is in a shallowest portion. This is from the lingual frenum to premalvoid region is from the most interior part is in a shallow portion of the lingual phalanges from the lingual frenum to the premalvoid region, especially at the area of premolar, and this middle part, which is should be extended behind the mylohyoid ridge in order to make the perfect peripheral seal. And this particular part should be extended distal end of the mylohyoid ridge, and the denture here should extend behind the mylohyoid ridge. The proper seal is to be achieved. Posteriormost portion is retromylohyoid fossa. Is from the distal end of the mylohyoid ridge to the retromylohyoid curtain, and it provides a valuable undercut that is very much important for the retention of the mandibular denture. So this distolingual pouch area is classified by the Neal into the three classification. Class 1, which is greater than half of the inch in depth, and if it is classification 1, that is more favorable in terms of the retention as well as the stability of the denture. While class 2, which is less than half of the inch in depth, while classification 3 is a shallow vestibular depth and is not favorable for the retention and the stability of the denture. So how to check the depth of the distolingual pouch? And we use a mouth mirror. We just put into the distolingual pouch, ask the patient to protrude the tongue, and then examine the depth of the distolingual pouch. If it is inside this dial of the mirror, which is inside the lingual pouch, so distolingual pouch, it means it's a classification 3. If it is less than half of the diameter of, it means it's a shallow sulcus, classification 3. So this is the way how to check out the this class depth of the distolingual pouch. So the boundary of the lateral through form or distolingual pouch anteriorly is bounded by mylohyoid muscles, laterally by means of pear-shaped pad, posteriorlaterally superior muscles of pharynx, posterior-medially palatoglossus muscles, and medially by means of the tongue. So these are the boundaries of distolingual pouch. Retromylohyoid curtain is a wall of the mucous membrane which limit the extension of the distolingual part of the denture. So this is a retromylohyoid curtain. Shape of the lingual flange is all because of action of the mylohyoid muscles, and this lingual flange has an S shape. This is all due to the action of the mylohyoid muscles. While performing the Bardo molding movement, especially this lingual area, we ask the patient to protrude the tongue and raise the tongue and touch the palate, and also ask the patient to perform the right side, left side movement of the tongue to touch the inner aspect of the cheek area. So the mylohyoid muscles come and contract and make a shape of lingual flange just like S shape. So this is anatomy and related denture form and this picture. So these all the anatomical structures. So limiting structure in this case are the labial frenum and the right side and the left side of the labial vestibule, and buccal frenum on the right side as well as on the left side. Buccal vestibule, which is by this part, the denture should be properly extended here and up to the external oblique ridge, and posteriorly there is a retromolar pad area. Bilaterally, this is alveolar sulcus divided into the three parts: anterior, middle, and most distolingual part. This is very much important. This lateral throat form or distolingual pouch, if it is classification 1, which is more favorable in terms of the retention and stability of the denture. So this is the supporting structure, including this the buccal shelf area, the ridge area, the slope of the ridge, and the crest, which provide the secondary support, the mylohyoid ridge, in respect of the residual ridge. There is no anything mucosa over there that also provide the secondary support. The mucosa over the mylohyoid ridge, which is very much prominent in case of the bone resorption, there need to be relief. So the relief should are the frenum, lingual frenum, labial frenum, buccal frenum, as well as the buccal frenum. Any undercuts or sharp edges and spicules also are the relief area. So these are the denture. The related denture form are this labial notch here, the labial flange, the buccal notch, and the buccal flange, and this is the lingual flanges, and this is the lingual notch for the lingual. So this is alveolar groove whole part. So this is all about for this limiting structure of the mandibular arch. If you found this video is useful, please thumbs up, subscribe and share my video. Thank you.